Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Eek Acres. Down here in these woods are a section of the cemetery that is from the 18th century. There's a bunch of old headstones down in here and there's no road to get in. You just go down this little footpath and it's only foot traffic to get in here. So I thought I would do a continuation and do a video of what there is back here because I've never been back here. Bridget found a sign over there in the bushes, and what did the sign say?
It's the site of the early 20th century baby burials over here.
Ah, geez. So this is a children's graveyard?
1830.
1830. Yeah, 1929 to 1929. Albert Soldano.
Can't even read this one.
Ah, baby died as soon as it was born.
Yeah.
That's so sad. So sad. It's all children in here, you guys. All children.
1920.
This baby was born in 1919 and died.
Cyprian.
Now we got to go down this trail right here, go between those stones to get over there because there's no road that comes in this part of the cemetery. So right here, honey, over this tree. Right down through here. Watch you don't slip. I don't know why there's no road. I don't even know how they get back here with mowers. Oh wow, these are really old stones here. Bertha Weinstein, 1876 to 1918. Yeah, a lot of these have Hebrew inscriptions on them. 1884 to 1919. Wow, these are some old stones here.
1926, she was only 26 years old.
26-year-old woman buried here. Gee whiz.
Yeah, it's all Hebrew.
She was born in February 22nd, 1900 even, and died March 17th, 1926. 26-year-old girl buried here. And look how they have her area framed off in concrete.
Standing on it.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
I didn't either.
All of these have it. It's just they're covered in moss. Look, all the way up the hill, they're all the same. They're all framed in with concrete.
Yeah, this is a bunch of Jewish.
Okay, I'm gonna stay off that. I'm not gonna walk on them. I'll stay back here. Wow.
It's a Jewish burial site.
26-year-old woman. I wonder if she passed away giving birth or something, being that there's babies in here. Maybe her and her baby's in here somewhere.
1872 to 33. That would be 50, 60 years old.
Michael Edelson. Born April 10th, 1891, died March 20th, 1961. 151st Depot Brigade of World War I. Wow, that's going back a ways. This is truly an old cemetery. Look at all these stones just go all right up along the woods here. And then there's more over there. But nothing else all throughout the bottom of here. Nothing. It's all up here on this hill. Abraham Flatow, 1876, 1923. You see, they're all framed in with concrete borders. So I'm keeping my distance back from the stones because I don't want to be stuck. I didn't realize it when I was down there because it's so covered with moss. But I don't want to be stepping on their graves. 1860 to 1934. 1875 to 1927, in memory of our beloved father, Eli Minsker. That's an old name, Eli. Same thing with Samuel, that's an old name.
1874.
Yeah, 1874 to 1944.
This one fell over.
Oh, geez, that's a shame. Hopefully someone will fix that. I don't touch anything because I don't have no right to. They'll fix it. Greenberg, 1874 to 1934. Now that's a super old name. Isaac, in memory of our beloved father Isaac Levine, 1885 to 1927. The Star of David, right?
Yep, most of these have that on there. It's all in Hebrew.
Geez, look at this. 2-year-old kid, 1940 to 1942, beloved son, Gerald Minsker. And look at the small little frame around. Isn't that sad?
Yeah.
2-year-old little kid. Oh my God, how heartbreaking that would be to have to come and put your kid in the ground. I just can't even imagine the suffering and anguish you'd go through over something like that. 1885 to 1966, 1876 to 1951. When I'm in some old cemeteries, and I've been in a lot of old cemeteries that are way older than this, but these are some really old graves here. I think about when the people in those days were here to mourn the loss of their loved one, way back in the olden days, and how there would have been horses and buggies in here just tied to trees, and that's how the family would have arrived, is in an old carriage. And maybe it was raining that day and they had umbrellas, and it's crazy to think on what that was like. And when you think about a cemetery, you know, like the one across the road has over 50,000 graves in it, over 50,000 interned people. And you think of how many ceremonies out of that have taken place, because some of those tombstones have 2 people at the headstone and not just one. So you're talking, you know, maybe even over 100,000 people. That's a lot of ceremonies. That's a lot of crying. Pretty crazy. 1964, this woman died. This woman died in 1953. That guy died in 1967. All just here at the edge of the woods, overlooking a valley. Family plot here. Well, these, hon, are pretty modern. Here, 2014. Miles Lasser. Now this has got the same thing where there's borders, so I'm going to stay behind the bushes. Labick. 2007 for Rose, and Herman died in 73, 2 years after I was born. Philip died in 75. His wife died in 81. Veteran of World War II, right there, Gordon Labick. Born September 30th, 1926. Died March 13th, 1948. It's interesting to know that if this is all Jewish here, how different they do their graves with the border, you know, like that with the concrete. And just how it's laid out and how it's done, and that they have all this boxwood. That's what these are, is boxwood bushes. They frame in the family plots with boxwoods. And see, when you can see them, then you can just walk around, and that way it's no disrespect, but gee whiz. Isaac, another Isaac, 1945. Libby, imagine that was his wife. She also was a beloved mother. 1971, she died the year I was born. She's been dead for 54 years. Yeah, they all have their individual plots surrounded by boxwood bushes. That's different, and that's what I mean with the different religions and that, and how different. They have
their chairs here to sit in the garden.
Yeah, they got chairs where they can sit and hang out with them. 75 and 78. This guy only lived 3 years past his wife. I kind of like how they do this, where they plant the boxwood around all the different plots. 55 and 52. And again, regarding the Jewish, religion and, all that, I don't know anything about any of that. I don't know anything about it. Like this right here, Tevet 145778. I don't know what that means.
It's the Hebrew calendar. They go by a different calendar than we do.
Some little kid drew things on rocks and left them.
That's cute.
Leo Brook, 1898 to March 27th, 1984. He was devoted to his family, a world traveler and raconteur, born of tradition, nurtured by pride, sustained by love. True woman of valor. His husband and wife buried here. Rosenberg. Zuckerman. That's another name that I've heard before locally here. A lot of Weinsteins in here. It's a beautiful place. It's just all this right here on this, right on the crown of this hill, you guys. That's pretty much all there is to it. And some are up here in the woods. There's even some up here, literally up in the woods. And a lot of cemeteries that we have in this county, you'll go into the woods and you'll find stones where there's buried slaves. And they will be in the back of the cemetery, into the woods, like they're just forgotten people, and it's very sad. There's two graves here. There's one here, and one stone's missing, so I'm imagining it's husband and wife. But Adele Rosen, 1868, died in 1937. Wow. You're talking post-Bonnie and Clyde era. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's a stone missing, so I imagine it was husband and wife right here. And I'm sure there's a lot more graves up in here, but it's just over time. The stones went missing. There's a whole bunch of bottles up here in the woods and just stuff strewn everywhere where kids have been coming up here and partying because this neighbor's right on the edge of the city. There's clothing and plastic over there. Look at all the bottles. Holy crap. Just bottles laying everywhere.
Yeah, just not broken.
All right, hon, let's go back. I don't want a shopping cart down there. There's a wheelbarrow. Another shopping cart over there. Yeah, let's go back. I don't want to be wandering these woods because I don't know if we could get onto private property. Yeah, this is an old... I mean, it's a beautiful place to be, overlooking this valley and everything, but man, this woman died a long time ago. There's more stones here around these trees and the bushes here. Some of these graves are almost like they're forgotten. I'll bet there's not too many people that make it back in here. Jeez. It's the young people, like this young girl down here that was 26, and the babies. It's the people that really didn't live a life. That's the heartbreaking part to me whenever I'm in a cemetery, is people that really had a short life and was only here for just a time, and then something happened to them and their life was cut short. It's just very, very, very sad. And there's more that go all the way down that way, and they're just in the bushes, and you just can't even, it's so overgrown that the graves, you can't even get to them. There's stones way back in here, I'll show you. I mean, like this guy here, World War II, U.S. Army. And look, he's just, and look, the stones keep going. And you can't even get to them. 1963, 1998, that one's not that old, and yet you can't even get to them. It's better over on this side. These two people died in 1971, died in 73, 91, 81, 89, 1940, and 1994. And this says, beloved friend, Kevin Lewis, 1952 to 1994. He was a young man. Same name as mine. And that's the end of the line right there, you guys. Whoever takes care of the cemetery isn't doing a really good job at, keeping this cleaned up. They should cut all this stuff down so if there are any family members left, they can visit the graves without this all being so overgrown, and especially with a war vet there from World War II. I mean, to show him respect, this should be cleaned up and redone, in my opinion. I'm gonna go back up here through that little entranceway that we came in to get down in here. So thousands and thousands of cemeteries in this end of the state to visit, just like everywhere, you guys. There's so many really cool ones. There's a cemetery not too far from here where the whole cemetery is filled with deceased people that died from yellow fever. The whole cemetery, everybody died from the same thing. They just buried all the people that died from yellow fever in there, and there's only 2 headstones left. That's how old it is. All the headstones have deteriorated and there's only 2 left, but the cemetery is just filled with dead. And makes you wonder someday if there won't be another event that will take out a large swath of populations, and you never know. But thanks for watching, you guys. We'll see you again in the next one. Bye-bye.